Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Sports.
Go home already. Tonight, the Braves will finally say goodbye to the Mets, and this 5-game series will come to an end. The series is tied 2 games apiece, and we'll see who takes the rubber match. Mike Minor and the Braves try to win the series against the Mets here at Turner Field in Atlanta. It's the 5th final and rubber game of our series here at Turner Field between the first-place Braves and the New York Mets. That's right, 5 long games with our Eastern Division rivals. And this series finally wraps up tonight under beautiful sunny skies. Hi again, friends. Along with Tom Glavine and Joe Simpson, I'm Chip Carey. Tom Hart, Elizabeth Morrow will be along in just a few moments. Fellas, this series has taken forever to be played, but a chance for the Braves to win it outright. And hopefully it'll end as excitingly as it began a few short days ago, Joe.
Yeah, Monday night lasted forever because of the rain delay. It seemed like it was never going to end. But what a way to get the series started. It ended with a bang. And, of course, that was Freddie Freeman. Dylan G owned the ball game until the last 2 outs of the game. He never got them. And that got the Braves started in the right direction. But the pitching continued to be good for the Mets.
Yeah, games 2 and 3 were not much fun for the Atlanta Braves. Matt Harvey went out and dominated, 7 innings, 13 strikeouts. Mets won that game 4-3. And then the nightcap, we got to see another glimpse of the Mets' future, and Zach Wheeler making his major league debut and winning that game 6-1. So those two guys showed you what has the Mets organization so excited. And, Chip, we saw another pretty good effort last night from a starting pitcher.
And this is why the Braves are excited, too, because Chris Medlin's on a roll. He's won 3 of his last 4 decisions and a 5-3 victory last night. Medlin goes 7 innings with 7 strikeouts. Had a little trouble fielding the baseball, but all was forgiven as the Braves won Game 4. So they turn their attention to Mike Minor, who gets the ball for Atlanta tonight. And Mike Minor making a strong push for a National League All-Star berth. Tom Hart will talk about that and Mike's terrific first-half run when we come back for Game 5 here at Turner Field in Atlanta after this.
Between the Braves and the Metropolitans of New York. And tonight, left-hander Mike Minor goes back to the mound. He's a guy that we've been able to see improve almost each and every time out. Consider how far Mike Minor's career has come and the strides he's made over just the last year. He's a subject of our Ram Truck Power Stats, and over his first 33 starts, he was just a tick above 500, an ERA of 5.5. Since then, however, in his last 34 starts, he's been magnificent. He shaved the ERA nearly in half, 90 points off the opponent's batting average, and since June 12th of last year, his .97 whip is the best in Major League Baseball. So how did it happen? When that June 12th start at home against the New York Yankees, he decided he was going to quit trying to be perfect. And instead of pitching to the black in the corners, he was going to pitch to thirds of the plate and challenge hitters. It's turned out magnificently for Minor. And oh, by the way, it doesn't hurt that he's second in the National League in run support. Nearly 7 runs a game from the Braves offense to help support this left-hander. They're looking for more of the same tonight as we close this one out against the Mets. This homestand has seen a little bit of everything. Great pitching, rain delays, double headers, early starts, late starts. And oh yeah, also a walk-off. Maybe we'll get more of that as the Mets and Braves finish this one up. Tom, Chip, and Joe have the call right after this.
Part by AT&T Uverse, by Delta Airlines, and by Ford. Beautiful night in Atlanta. We wrap up the homestand, and at long last we'll send these Mets off on the road to wherever they go. We don't care. We're not going to see them for another month. It's been an awfully long series with New York because of Mother Nature, but the Braves a chance to win it tonight. 3 games to 2 outright behind Mike Minor. And while we have a moment, we invite you to grab the Braves steal of the game tonight only. Buy a season ticket package starting at $211. You'll get 2 Chipper Jones bobbleheads and a commemorative Chipper patch. This is also your last chance to secure tickets for Chipper Jones night on June 28th. So call right now, 404-577-9100. Crowd still filing in on this sunny night in Atlanta. Here's how the Mets line up for their skipper, Terry Collins. Eric Young leads off the Toyota starting 9 with Murphy, Wright, and Bird joining him in the top 4. Lucas Duda's the first baseman. John Buck's behind the plate. He's had a good series. Juan Lagares in center. And Omar Quintanilla, the shortstop. Jonathan East, who's pitched pretty good ball of late for the Mets, is the number 9 hitter tonight.
He has, and he'll be facing another guy that's been throwing the ball real well. Mike Minor, 8-2 with a 2.68 on the year. You see his last 18 starts against National League teams. This is pretty good, folks. 12-0 with a 2.2 ERA and a 1.91 opponent's batting average against. So he has, as Tom Hart mentioned in the open, he has really turned things around. It's been fun to watch.
His 4 keys to pitching success. Number 1, heat exchanger. You know, when he first came up, I'm not sure that he thought his fastball was good enough. He was always nibbling and walking a lot of guys, pitching behind in the count. But he hasn't given up on the fastball. It's just that other pitches have really developed, like his cutter off his fastball and his changeup. And this guy is doing some bidding. He's bidding for the All-Star game. He's coming off a start against the Giants where he went 6 innings and got a no decision. Only issued one intentional walk and struck out 7. So while he got a no decision, he still kept the ball club in the game, and they did get a win, 6-5.
It really has been an amazing journey for Mike Minor. I mean, I think it's fair to say, fellas, about a year ago this time, everyone in Braves country was wondering which way was Mike Minor going to teeter. Was he going to be a mystery man, or was he going to step up and pitch like an ace?
Well, I think that's where, you always wonder how guys are going to handle their frustration level. Obviously, that frustration level was a good thing for him because it made him come to the realization that he needed to quit trying to be so fine and just start getting after hitters. And that's a great adjustment to make. Rather than go for corners, you go for thirds of the plate. And then on some nights when you're really on, you can go for the corners.
Quick strike to Eric Young Jr. 80 degrees at 7:11 Eastern Time tonight. Mets got Young in the middle of this series, trying to shore up their leadoff spot and their outfield. And a one-hop comebacker for Minor. And that's the first out of the game. Here's the rest of the Atlanta defensive lineup tonight. Upton, and Hayward left to right in the outfield. Tyler Pasternaky gets the start for Dan Ugla out at second base. And Gerald Laird with a left-hander on the mound gets a chance to catch Mike Minor tonight. Here's Murphy. Murphy came into this series swinging it around the 280 mark. Glad of those held him in check. Murphy 3 for 17 so far at the plate.
You know, it's been a long series when you've had 17 at bats in this series.
Right?
Yeah. It's funny how you get so used to these 3-game series, and even a 4-game series can seem like a lot. And then, man, 5-game series, it seems like they've been here for a month.
Dave Baker found this for us before the ball game. How long has this series gone? The series began on June 17th. The Mets have made 10 roster moves.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, a couple of those were necessitated by the
Right.
doubleheader with the 26th guy, but still 10 roster moves in 4 days. And a line drive foul off Murphy's bat.
Mike's already made a couple of starts against the Mets this year, and he's pitched great. 1-0, 188 ERA, just 3 earned runs allowed in 14 innings. 2 walks, 14 strikeouts in those 14 innings. That's great.
Murphy swung at the invisible ball, and Minor has his first strikeout. 2 up, 2 down.
When you, I know you go to spring training, you get to work with these guys a little bit, go down to bullpen with them in spring training. When you first saw him, did he have a good changeup coming out of college?
He had a decent one, but maybe because all his other stuff was so good that his changeup was just okay in comparison. But I remember the first time I saw him throw a bullpen, and I just thought, wow, this kid's pretty good. And you know, even watching a guy throw a bullpen, when you see a guy with a game plan in his bullpen, you know it's a guy that has a good idea.
That was also instrumental in Minor's turnaround. Instead of having his game plan formulated by Roger McDowell and his catcher, they said, Mike, you match your stuff to the other team's hitter. His right hits a towering fly ball to left, and Upton's not going to catch that one. David Wright has homered, and the Mets lead 1-0 here in the first. That's nothing new for David Wright. He has always hit Braves pitching extremely well.
Well, it's nothing new to Mike Minor either. He gave up a home run to Paul Goldschmidt the first inning out in Arizona, and that's all they got. So hopefully he'll be able to put this behind him.
Well, we talk about it all the time. You don't want to give him up, but giving up a solo one early in the game, you can survive that.
It's 31 lifetime home runs for Wright against the Braves. That's the most against any other club. And of those 31, 17 have come in this ballpark. That's also Wright's visiting ballpark home run high. So Marlon Byrd bats with the Mets up a run.
2.
That was a quick one. Chad Fairchild. I think he was yelling at Dan. I think he said Dan. I'm not sure. He was talking to Dan Worthen, the pitching coach.
That was odd.
Yeah. If it had anything to do with Murphy's at bat or.
And Byrd is called out on a check swing. So Minor strikes out a pair of Mets. And that'll prompt a little more disgust from the New York dugout. But David Wright's 31st lifetime homer against the Braves is his 10th of the year. And New York has an early run. The Braves go to work with a 7-game lead in the division. 25-10 on their home turf here in Atlanta. Tyler Pasternicki leads off the Toyota starting lineup. Freddie Freeman's hitting third in front of Justin Upton. BJ all the way up to the 5th slot with a hot homestand. Chris Johnson, Gerald Laird, Andrelton Simmons 8th, and Mike Minor 9th against Jonathan Neese.
Left-hander Jonathan Neese 3-6 on the year with a 4.15. Struggled at the start of the month. I just figured some things out a little bit. His last 5 starts, he's been good. 1-2 with a 1.95 ERA, so he's pitching well, but hasn't had the benefit of winning too many of those games, unfortunately for him.
His 4 keys to pitching success tonight, playing off the improvement over his last 5 games. No home runs allowed in those 5 ball games. That certainly helped. And base runners. He is averaging per 9 innings 14.42 base runners per 9 innings. That's the 3rd highest in the National League.
Little blooper up the middle. Funny spin. Murphy with a bare hand, and Duda couldn't handle the short hop. All kinds of funny spins and bounces, and Pasternicki has an infield hit for the Braves in the first.
ball skipped right back to Murphy. And sometimes when you barehand the ball, you don't get a good grip on it because you've got your whole hand wrapped around the baseball, and it's kind of like he threw a changeup over there low.
Yeah, you get kind of that palm ball grip a little bit and can't get much on it.
So Nice immediately to the stretch with an early base runner. First pitch swing by Hayward is out of play, foul. We told you last night that the lefty-righty splits were flipped around for Jason Hayward the last 2 nights. Did not have good numbers against Sean Markham, last night's Mets starter, who's right-handed, but has hit this left-hander, Jonathan Nice, very well in his career.
Yeah, 8 for 20.
And that continues on an 0-1 count. Back-to-back Braves hits. And so Jason Hayward has plenty of company against Jonathan Nice. That's our cold hard fact, brought to you by Frostproof Coors Light.
Yeah, the only one of those 4 that's not in there tonight is Reed Johnson, but he's got good numbers too. So hopefully that bodes well for the Braves offense tonight.
That's where, as a starting pitcher, you're looking at the lineup and you're looking at that and you're saying, okay, how am I going to win this game? How am I going to get around these guys?
And now with 2 guys on, they have to pitch very carefully to Freddie Freeman with Upton in the batter's box. Mets have not pitched to Freddie much. They do, and Freeman launches one to center. Lagares going back and gets to the track and hauls it in. Now Pasternak, he's going to tag, ball back to the center of the diamond, and he's in safely to third. Great catch. And Duda, the third cutoff man, saved that ball from rolling all the way to the plate, perhaps.
A really good play by Lagares. Remember last night, Eric Young Jr. was in center field, so the better defensive players in center. Tonight he makes a great catch, but a really good heads-up read by Pasternak. He's seeing that throw-in was going to clear everybody.
Yeah, because had it hit the cutoff man, he's a dead duck, but he obviously got a good read on it and saw the overthrow and took the extra base. Very heads-up.
Swing and a miss for Justin Upton. Tough times at the plate for Justin right now. He has 1 hit in his last 23 at-bats.
Talked to Greg Walker a lot before batting or during batting practice today, and he said it's just an effort to try to get him, keep him from being late. He is late on just about everything. It's not been a good month.
Needs some contact here from Upton. Hayward runs, and it's a blue pit to right. Tyler scores. Hayward stops at third. It's a 1-1 game.
He was a hitter and not a slugger on this. He was just trying to protect inside and make sure he didn't give up the outside part of the plate, so he just fought this off and was rewarded for it.
Yeah, that's where you just got to battle with 2 strikes and try to put the ball in play, and got just enough of it and found the hole.
And so far tonight, fellas, Jonathan Nice isn't fooling anybody.
Well, he didn't fool any of the first 2 of the first 3 guys, but Pasternak's ball was hit right off, cued off the end of the bat. That one wasn't clobbered. In between the 2 balls were hit hard.
But Upton starting to swing the bat well for Atlanta. So's the man on deck. Chris Johnson. Look at what BJ's done in his last 12 games.
Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot. He feels like he has lately with the way he's been swinging. Really coming on. Again, another guy tough to double up. Just try to get it in play and get that run in from third.
2 on with 1 out. And Upton swings and misses, and he's out number 2. First strikeout for Nice. And here's Chris Johnson. A lot of damage in the 4th inning for Chris. Came with 2 outs. Armo's homewrecker home run.
Put a charge in that. That was pretty much a no-doubter. 3-run homer. So last night, well, Chris is known to have the best happy dance on the team after a walk-off. Last night there was some dancing going on in the dugout by his teammates.
Chris, from the opening bell of spring training, has absolutely been killing left-handed pitching. And has carried over into regular season play, where he's batting .371 against opposing southpaws. See if he can come through with 2 outs and put the Braves in front.
Swings a light bat, and because I think for a lot of left-handers with a strong right-handed hitter, you're trying to maybe work the ball away from him. He doesn't mind that at all. In fact, he pretty much swings inside out, and because he only swings a 31-ounce bat, he can get the barrel there in a hurry.
A swing and a miss will retire the side. The Braves pick up the tying run on 3 singles. We head to the 2nd. 1-1 your score. The 2nd inning, it's tied 1 apiece. And as we talked about a few moments ago in our opening comments, fellas, the starting pitching in this homestand has been terrific for Atlanta, and that's part of our Volkswagen pitching performance.
Yeah, 2.31 ERA, 2.15 batting average against, 13 walks, 60 strikeouts, 8 out of 9 quality starts, and the only one that wasn't was Alex Wood's fill-in start. So really good work by the starters here in this series.
More than a strikeout per inning. That's awfully impressive. And Minor had 2 in the opening frame tonight. It's a good start with Lucas Duda standing in. He's the Mets' first baseman.
Everybody's carrying their share of the load. Everybody goes out each night, try to do a little better than they did themselves the outing before, maybe a little better than the guy that pitched the night before. Reminiscent of you guys in your heyday, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of similarities there. You know, you hear people talking about this rotation, the camaraderie, and what they're feeding off of one another, and it is. It's infectious. When everybody's pitching well, you know, you want to go out there and do the guy before you won better, and you certainly don't want to be the weak link in the chain. So it's a good motivator for everybody.
Breaking ball popped foul beyond the Mets dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Julio Teheran will pitch tomorrow night. Ground ball, foul past Tom Goodwin. He's the Mets' first base coach. 1 ball, 2 strikes, still the count.
It's funny, too, when you look at the 5 guys, I would say you would look at Mike Minor, for example, and say, wow, he's even better than he was this time last year. Medlin, he's won 3 of his last 4, so he's returning to form. Teheran, after winning and being okay early in the season, he's really stepped into his confidence. He's pitching so well. The one guy that you never even gave a second thought to, who hasn't pitched as well as you know he can, is Tim Hudson. Mm-hmm. And he's only, you know, he's going to pitch better.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think you know pretty much what you're going to get out of Huddy, give or take a little bit, obviously, in a given year. So that's you're not too worried about that, but you're awfully excited about the way the other 4 guys are going.
John Buck takes a strike. He's the Mets catcher. And because those guys have pitched so well, there's no sense of urgency or sense of concern to rush Brandon Beachy back. A fly on the infield. That should be handled by Tyler Pastornicki. And he puts the squeeze on that. 2 outs. Remember, it was planned for Beachy to pitch in one of the doubleheader games against the Mets, but tendonitis in his surgically repaired elbow has slowed him down. So the inevitable decision is put off for the Braves. Who's going out of the rotation when Beachy comes back? Because he's not ready yet.
We talked about that a little bit the other day. It's funny how baseball gods kind of have their way of handling things.
Lagares breaks his bat and drives one into shallow right. Diving try by Hayward. Ball gets behind him, and Lagares will stand at second. A bloop double with 2 outs.
Two outs, no trouble going for that one. See if you can get it. At best, he's going to get at second base, which he did because he can really run. But Mike Minor in a position just needing 1 out to get out of the inning.
And the shortstop, Omar Quintanilla. This guy's had a good series, I think. He's driven in some runs. Made all the plays at shortstop.
That he has.
And with Ruben Tejada injured, it's been a nice pickup for New York.
Came in riding some 0 for 18 or something, didn't he?
And then it went to 0 for 22 before he picked up a hit. And as you see, 3 for 13, but 3 RBIs, and he's hitting down in the batting order. And this one hit towards Simmons at short, and Middleton got him by a half step. Both Mets hits have come with 2 outs tonight. Wrights was a homer. Lagares hit a double, but he's left stranded, and the Braves go to work in a tie game at 1. Georgia Lottery, by the Home Depot, by Sony Picks White House Down, and by Toyota. 1-1 score. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Another good crowd tonight. Beautiful weather in Atlanta. A little breeze blowing from right to left, keeping things very comfortable for the paying customers. As we mentioned, 80 degrees at first pitch. I think we could all get used to this all summer long, couldn't we?
Yes.
Gerald Laird gets the start tonight and takes a ball outside from Jonathan Neese. Playing time's been tough to come by for Gerald. He had only 3 at-bats on the homestand coming into play tonight, but with Evan Gattis going down with the oblique problem, figure that's going to change dramatically here in the next week. A shot toward left. That gets over the glove of Young, and that'll hop off the fence. Gerald Laird doubles to start the second inning.
The ball jumps off Gerald's bat. And remember, guys, he hurt his ankle a little bit the other night running the bases. Wearing a guard on that foot as he makes his way to second, but he's favoring it. Hard to tell there. Guy can hit.
Yeah, he can. The Braves do a good job of that. Their backup catchers, yeah, they're probably a little bit more known for their defense, but they always seem to help offensively.
Well, there's been a long line of really good backup catchers.
Yeah, there really has.
Andrelton Simmons, the batter. He's the 8th place hitter tonight. So he can get Laird moved up or moved in. 1-1 game, second inning. Bounced back to the mound. It's a nice play. Laird has to hold at second, one away from Mike Minor. Be sure to join us at the 3rd annual Tribute to the Troops presented by CPI Security. If you order tickets from Braves.com, a portion of the proceeds will benefit the Wounded Warrior Project. That's Tribute to the Troops, Sunday, June 30th at 1 p.m. June 30th has Arizona in town. That's the first club we'll see at the end of the upcoming road trip. First chance for Braves country to see Martin Prado in a Diamondbacks jersey. One ball, one strike for Mike Minor. And Mike swings and misses. Neese gets the second out of the inning. And that's his 3rd strikeout of the game.
The 2 he got in the first inning were crucial. First and third, one out. He was able to get BJ and Chris Johnson to avoid that run from scoring. Keep it a tie game. That was well done.
That strikeout with a runner in scoring position a little less difficult to swallow with the very athletic pitcher up there.
Maybe for you guys. It's tough for me to watch.
Let's see if Tyler can bring home Gerald Laird. Tyler swung the bat well down in Gwinnett.
Has all year. And every time he comes up, this is the third time he's been up. Swings a good when he comes up here.
Tyler, as you know, played a lot of shortstop for the Braves last season, but has been playing a lot of second base down at Gwinnett. I think some outfield too. I can't confirm that. I think he has. So if he could develop into that super utility kind of player with his bat, it's a nice weapon to think about.
He's a good offensive player. Keep saying that. Saw some good base running in the top and the bottom of the first.
Off his thumbs, out to Quintanilla at short. And Pasternicki and the Braves are done in the second. Laird left stranded after a leadoff double. Nice goes to work for the Mets in the third. Our game still tied 1 apiece.
Now time for our SunTrust shining moment. The Danville Braves get their season underway tonight in Danville, Virginia. For a lot of these guys, it will be their first taste of professional baseball under manager Jonathan Sherholtz. And for Kyle Wren and Victor Caratini, great start. They lead 2-0 in the third. Wren and Caratini each have a hit and a run. Mikey Reynolds, talented shortstop out of Texas A&M, in the field for the Danville Braves as well. Guys, I talked to Andrelton Simmons about his stop in Danville, and I asked him today, what do you remember about your first day in rookie ball, your first day of professional baseball? He said, I looked around, I saw a guy named Joe Leonard, Barry Kleinknecht taking grounders with him. I said, there's no way I could play at this level.
He was right.
Yeah, that's a good point. No balls, 2 strikes. And a comebacker back to Mike Minor. And that's the first out. Vin Scully said the same thing when he began his broadcasting career. He stepped into the booth with Red Barber and watched Red do his pregame chatter and all of that stuff. And he was thinking to himself, my goodness, I could never sound as good as Red Barber. Well, 64 years later, I think it's worked out pretty well for the voice of the Dodgers. And the same for Simmons here in Atlanta. Here's Eric Young. Told you last night the issues for the Mets outfield. Their ranks in the National League in hits average, runs, and on-base percentage for their outfield crew last in the National League. Their leadoff hitters last in average on-base and slugging percentages. That's why they took a flyer on Eric Young. They traded Colin McHugh to Colorado after Young was designated for assignment on June the 12th.
2.
I think everybody knows by now that Terry Collins and I are pretty good friends. But I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but he's really done a good job with these guys. And what I really commend him for is how he's changed his stripes in a way, you know, from his days as a manager with Houston or with Anaheim. And he was very impatient, wore his feelings on his sleeve, kind of had a hard time sometimes controlling his temper. He, after going to Japan and managing, coming back, he's really gotten control of those emotions and made himself a really good major league manager on a ball club that is a little short on talent.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And every manager wants the 25 best players that an organization can give them. That's usually never going to happen. And Tommy, I'm sure you, Joe, would agree. You don't really always get to play the guys you want to get or get the guys you want to get, but you can control effort, right?
You can't. That's the one thing you can't control, night in and night out.
And these guys, these Mets, they play hard. I mean, these have not been easy games by any stretch for the Braves. And for New York to come to Atlanta with the Braves' dominant home record and seemingly for the Mets very little to play for other than pride, well, split the first 4 games.
And my opinion is obviously jaded, but you ask the players about Terry and listen to what they say. They really enjoy playing for him. David Wright's been one of his biggest advocates when anything was written in New York about how they needed to make a change or something because the team wasn't playing well, and David was quick to step up and say, hey, he's doing everything he can.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the 9th pitch of this at bat for Eric Young. And you'll see another one. We were joking with Terry the other day after the Mets doubleheader sweep, and he does have a great sense of humor. I said, boy, it's amazing how much smarter you are after you throw Harvey and Wheeler out at you. And he laughed. That was a real bright spot for New York. And Young is making Minor work double overtime in this 3rd inning. We'll see an 11th pitch. And a hard-earned walk for Eric Young. First free pass issued by Mike Minor, and keep an eye on Young. He can run. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. Here's Murphy. Minor struck him out in the 1st inning. Another great thing about Mike Minor is his impeccable control. Mike has now pitched 93 innings. He's only walked 19 men.
Well, I think that's a result of the adjustment he talked about. You know, you're going to throw more strikes when you're not trying to be so perfect all the time.
Double play ball. The Mets have hit into a ton of those. And the inning is over. Murphy rolls out, and the Braves come up in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Hayward, Freeman, and Justin Upton in a 1-1 game. 1-1. Braves fans, you are running out of time. Today is Delta Day, and this is your last, and we mean last, chance to enter. Grab your phone, text Delta to South. That's Delta to 76884 for a chance to win. Round trip airfare for two anywhere Delta flies in the continental U.S. plus hotel accommodations, $250 spending cash. We'll announce the winner at the end of tonight's game. Message and data rates apply. And entrants may get one text message confirming entry. Winner may be contacted by text message. Jason Hayward pops out. One away for Freeman. Robbed of a hit by Lagares, who made a great running catch.
They've had a little luck with Freddie this series, crowding him. Running fastballs in between his hands and his belt.
He rips that one into right field with one out.
Because when they get a little farther out over the plate, there's a loud noise that occurs. Big slow curveball at the middle of the plate.
I think you throw that one following the fastball in, hoping that maybe he'll freeze on it a little bit, thinking it's a fastball at him, but that one was a little bit too far out over the plate, and Freddie didn't freeze on it, put a good swing on it.
Justin Upton has the Braves RBI, a first inning single. He didn't hit it hard, but just hard enough. That's 34 runs batted in now for the Braves left fielder. Ball, one strike.
One of the things that Greg Walker talks a lot about with his hitters is not pushing the bat. And by that I mean really using that bottom hand correctly for extension, not letting it cast out away from their body out toward, in this case, the left-handed batter's box, which can slow your swing down and make you drag through the zone. So don't push with your top hand. Pull with the bottom hand.
Up the middle and through. Upton's 2 for 2. Freeman stops at second with one out. Braves are piling up hits by the bunches. That's 6 of them already.
See, I like it when guys that are struggling are getting singles. To me, that's a good sign.
Yeah, you hate seeing a guy hit a home. The last thing you want to see a guy is do it a home run when they're struggling.
Yeah, because they think, okay, I'm back, and I'll just keep swinging for homers. So a couple of singles here, a broken bat single to right, drove in a run, and now a base hit back through the middle. Those are good signs for Justin.
Let's see if BJ can chase home Freeman and brother Justin. 1-1 game. Talked to Dale Murphy about this the other night, Tommy. How many times did you try to hit a home run?
I'm sure he probably said not never, maybe never, but realistically not often.
The point is, as big as and strong as Justin and BJ and Freddie Freeman and others are, the ball's going to go if it's meant to go.
Well, and oftentimes you squeeze the bat so tight you slow everything down, much like when you try to, a pitcher tries to hump up and throw a fastball as hard as he absolutely can. Well, Usually those are the ones that don't come out as good because you don't have that loose grip on the ball, that nice, loose, firm arm action. Everything's tensed up and it doesn't come out as good.
Good pitch by Nice over the inside corner and makes it a 1-2 count. And that one around the plate, but close. 2-2.
Nice thought he had it. And he did. I don't think John Buck did him a big favor on the way he received that pitch. I know he struck out a ton. I'd send him and I'd let BJ know they're running.
Let's see if they are. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nice wanted to know too.
Freddie Freeman, not the swiftest brave base runner, might be a deterrent to that.
Swing and a miss takes care of B.J. Upton. He is down on strikes for the second time. First and second, 2 outs for Chris Johnson.
And it's a good thing they weren't running.
That's why we're up here, I guess.
Yep.
Braves have already left 3 runners on base. 2 of them in scoring position. They have another one out at second base here. And that's going to chase one of them home. Upton on his way to third. A base hit for Chris Johnson with 2 outs. Freeman scores to put the Braves in front.
Another big slow curve. Right, well off the line, pulled right by him.
Well, and that's where we've talked about it so much, pitching to your defense. You get the third baseman off the line, you're going to throw that breaking ball. It has to finish in the outside half of the plate to where he can't pull that ball. That ball finished middle to middle in, and Chris just got the bat head to it and right down the line.
His 14th 2-out RBI. That's good for the 3rd highest total in that category on the Braves club for Chris Johnson.
That's a lot. That's a lot for a guy that hasn't been playing every day. But we noticed in spring training, we noticed at the beginning of the season, this was not the case here behind in the count, but even behind in the count with 2 outs, he's pretty good at getting wood on the ball, especially with men on base.
Baseball always fluctuates. It's always a game of averages. You've got to believe that this is a club that's going to hit better than 188 in 2-out run scoring situations. That's the Braves' mark coming into play tonight. Now Laird, a shot into center. Lagares can't get there. Upton scores. Laird's 2 for 2. And it's a 3-1 Atlanta lead.
Well, like you said, Chip, figure they're going to hit better. And they are this inning. That's a pretty good pitch.
That was a good pitch.
The old death by 1,000 cuts for Nice. 3 runs on 8 hits. 7 singles for the Braves offense.
That's such a good pitch because from a hitter's standpoint, that's a hard pitch to elevate. That's one that's a comebacker, or, you know, when you top straight into the ground to the second baseman or shortstop.
Antonio will flip to Murphy at the bag, and that'll retire the side. 2 runs on 4 hits. The Braves send 7 men to the plate. Mike Minor now has a 2-run lead. 3 innings, and more importantly, Joe, a 3-1 lead.
8 hits. Got to like it through 3 innings for Atlanta's offense. We've been talking about how difficult it's been to get on the board early. So far tonight, that's not been an issue. David Wright got the Mets on the board first, though, with that long home run in the first inning. Braves came back to tie it up in the bottom of the first, and that opposite field single, broken bat single by Justin Upton. And then just minutes ago, the Braves parlayed 4 singles into 2 runs, one driven in by Chris Johnson, the other by Gerald Laird. And it's a 3-1 lead for Mike Minor.
And the way he's pitching, that's a nice position to be in if you're the Braves.
Braves already 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position tonight.
Now they heard us talking about their struggles.
David Wright homered in the first. Everything Tom, Joe, and I have talked about Mike Minor is his amazing ability to put a home run or an early run behind him in a ball game. As Wright scorches one down the left field line, he's going to have to put another one behind him. Wow, 2-homer game for David Wright.
Well, it's another solo one, and like we talked about, you can survive those. You're still up 3-2, so put it behind you. But yeah, I mean, he's done a good job with that, and you know, it's all part of the growing up process. There's a slider or backdoor breaking ball that caught too much of the plate, and look, you're going to give up runs, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to have bad things happen from time to time out there. The sooner you learn to deal with it and move on, the better off you're going to be.
So a 3-2 score now. Nobody out for Bird. Deep short. Simmons gloves. Look at that throw, but not in time. Simmons ended up in foul ground after the release of the baseball and nearly got Bird on a miraculous play. Instead, though, it's an infield hit.
Fun to watch, isn't he?
I think he's the only one that even makes that play close.
Great range.
Here's Duda. How many double plays have these guys hit into?
9. In 4 games and 3 innings.
Home Depot tours from the dugout.
Braves had only turned 10 in their previous 15 games.
Two balls and a strike. Duda getting a chance to play first base with Hank Davis at AAA. Now dangerous pitch. 3 balls and a strike. And a base on balls. A homer, an infield hit, now a walk. So trouble afoot for Mike Minor. Gerald Laird out for a pep talk. Walk number 2 for Mike. Here's Buck.
I think sometimes that's you give up a couple home runs like that. I think that's the one scenario where, as a pitcher, then you can start to kind of fall back into that, trying to be too fine and not want to make mistakes. You know, I think sometimes maybe when you're walking a guy here or there, giving up some singles, you're less apt to do that than you are when you're starting to give up some home runs.
in. 1 ball, no strikes. Toward third, tricky hop, and Johnson can do nothing but knock it down, and all hands are safe.
That's that play he smothered the other night, I think, against the Mets, and got an out. Because if he plays back, he waits back, there's a real good chance it eats him up with that in-between hop. But this way he had a chance to get a double play, step on the bag and go to first, or even do the conventional way. Just didn't come up with that in-betweener that time, and it'll be an E5.
So the bases are loaded with nobody out for Lagares, who doubled his first time up. The Mets this year with runners in scoring position, hitting .233. Believe it or not, that's actually a higher percentage than the Braves. Higher average, I should say, than the Braves.
They were 5 for 25 in this series before this inning.
Battles back to an even count. All right, Mr. Glavine, what do you go to on this pitch?
Whatever your strikeout pitch, whatever you think your strikeout pitch is right now. You know, I think bases loaded, nobody out. You're trying to keep the inning under control. Now with a strikeout right here, you got an opportunity with one pitch to get out of this inning. So I think you make the pitch that you think at this moment can get you a strikeout. Fastball in maybe, or change up away.
Breaking ball popped up shallow right. Hayward comes in. He gets there, makes the catch. No advance. Double play still in order. Lead still intact, in the 8th place hitter coming up.
And with Jason coming in on that ball and coming to it, that'll pretty much decide for you whether or not you would try to score there. Marlon Byrd made the right choice.
A ground ball from Quintanilla back in the 2nd. Miner would love another one of those here. One ball, no strikes. Duda and Buck, the base runners for New York.
Quintanilla has actually hit better against lefties since he was acquired by the Mets than he does against right-handers. Came in 3 for 10 against left-handed pitching.
Back to the mound. One at the plate. Turn to first. Look at Miner. A fist pump and a pop of the glove. A 1, 2, 3 inning-ending double play. That's 10 for the Mets in the series, and it's still a 1-run Braves lead.
Mets in the final game, and tonight was B.J. Upton bobblehead night. The first 20,000 fans got to take home a very impressive lookalike of B.J. Upton. Now, I talked to him during Braves Live. He said he gives them an A, and then right on cue, Freddie Freeman, who we know his bobblehead night was earlier, came over, and they argued who was better. B.J. said the only thing about Freddie's that was real was his orange beard. They had a lot of fun going back and forth with that, and we have one more bobblehead this season, July 11th. It is Dale Murphy night. Chip?
Thank you, Elizabeth. It's a good-looking bobblehead.
Yeah. Did a nice job.
Dale Murphy's bobblehead night, Thursday, July 11th, when the Reds are in town. That's right before the All-Star break.
Usually the guy that's his bobblehead night usually does something spectacular, so got that to look forward to.
Miners down on strikes. That's 5 for Nice. One away in the fourth inning. And keeping with our bobblehead doll theme, grab the Braves steal of the game tonight only. Buy a season ticket package, which starts at just $211. You'll get not one, but 2 Chipper Jones bobbleheads and a commemorative Chipper Jones patch. It's also the last chance to get your tickets for Chipper Jones night on June 28th. So call right now, 404-577-9100. The 28th is the Braves Hall of Fame luncheon. Be at the Marriott Marquis. And it's not a sellout. It's darn near close. Over 1,300 tickets have been sold for Chipper's luncheon. Joe will be the MC as always.
Looking forward to it.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. My favorite part of all of the number retirement ceremonies and stuff like that is when that tarp is pulled up. And yours was one of my favorites because we had talked about it before, Tommy. What's that moment like? And we could just see your facial expression change when the realization that, oh my goodness, I'm up there forever.
Yeah, it's one of those things. And Jonathan Nice get hurt. Could be an oblique. Looks like he's holding his side a little bit.
Nice made the pitch and came up lame. And when the manager goes to the lineup card, that's not good.
Looked like it was arm side.
Yep.
But hard to say there the way he was holding his right arm up.
So Jonathan Nice is going to have to come out of this game in the bottom of the fourth inning. He trails by 3-2 score. As soon as we find out what's ailing Nice, we will tell you that. And Terry Collins has to call on David Aardsma to come on and pitch to Tyler Pasternaky. This is the 6th appearance for Aardsma and his 3rd in as many games for the New York Relief Corps.
So after working game 2 of the doubleheader, then working last night, now he's going to be forced into some long relief, and his spot in the order comes up first next inning. So they're going to need him to hit for himself leading off an inning if they want him to continue.
Well, speaking of hitting first tonight, Tyler Pasternaky, the man in the batter's box, is the Braves' leadoff hitter tonight and is playing second base for Dan Uggla. Thought maybe it was a night off for the Braves starting second baseman, but Tom Hart, apparently there's a little more to the story tonight, huh?
Yeah, Chip, there could be. It's a 4th career start for Pasternaky at second base. There may be more coming. According to Jeff Schultz of the AJC, Uggla has been suffering vision problems. Was late to the ballpark today because he was having his vision evaluated. He may be a candidate for LASIK surgery, according to hitting coach Scott Fletcher, who said that the vision issues have been ongoing for Uggla, who last night was 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts and leads the team with 92 strikeouts. According to Schultz, Fletcher said there's been some pitches that he just hasn't seen. So if it is an issue for Uggla, we certainly hope it can get corrected and corrected soon. In the meantime, Braves are lucky that Pasternaky was the guy called up in Gaddis' spot when Evan Gaddis was the one who went on the 15-day DL at the beginning of this series.
Thank you, Tom. Didn't Greg Maddux have LASIK between starts?
He had it at the All-Star break or something like that.
They did not want him to pitch in his next turn, and of course he did. But if that is an issue for Dan and they're addressing it, that's great. That might be something here in midseason that could really help him.
And there's none better than our friend Dr. Alan Kozarski, who's the Braves vision specialist. So Dan will certainly be in good hands if that's the route that he and the Braves decide to take.
Well, I think that's in keeping. If anybody's having trouble and they're striking out a lot, go to Dr. K.
So David Aardsma is going to take as much time as he needs to get loose. He'll inherit the count to Tyler Pasternaky, who's already picked up an infield hit and has scored a run tonight. One of the big stories in baseball, besides our own Evan Gaddis, has been Yasiel Puig of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's off to a torrid start for the LA Ball Club. And a very interesting stat, the subject of our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard.
Yeah, and an interesting thing there, you saw that close-up of Terry Pendleton on the Braves railing when he hit that home run in Los Angeles. Check it out. Most hits in their first 15 career games. Bo Hart of the Cardinals, the most back in 2003. But then Joe DiMaggio, Terry Pendleton, and Yasiel Puig are next, just one behind Bo Hart. Like Terry was demonstrating a bobblehead there.
Yeah, it looked like the bobblehead dance.
I don't care what kind of company you're in or what the subject is. If you're in there with Joe DiMaggio, I'd take it.
Yes, absolutely.
So Aardsma continues to loosen up. That'll give us a chance to show you tonight's AT&T Uverse trivia question. Name the last Mets lefty to win 20 games in a season. We've had this question before, haven't we?
No, but we've had a lot of Mets pitching questions.
I want to say Frank Viola.
Mark Burley.
Sid Fernandez.
Yeah, Sid's a good call. Oh, no, Mike Hampton. That's my call.
Mike Hampton? Yeah.
Are we going to answer it now or are we going to wait?
No, let's just stew on it.
Just throwing it out?
Just throwing it out there.
If the answer is Mike Hampton, then we have had this before. And I'm so proud of you for remembering.
Tom is our left-handed Mets pitching specialist.
That's who we go to.
2 balls, 2 strikes is the count that Aardsma inherits for Tyler Pasternaky. Nobody on in the Atlanta 4th.
inheriting a 2-2 count. Ardsma gets a walk if it's issued. He also gets the strikeout.
Tyler checked his swing. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Back toward the press box and out of reach. Hot shot to left. 2 hits for Tyler Pasternacky. That's also charged to Ardsma.
Yes, it is. Tough spot for a pitcher in this role. Sitting down there enjoying the game, down the bullpen. Nice, comfortable night. Little breeze. Probably don't even have your hat on. May not have your spikes on. I don't know.
Probably hadn't finished his cup of coffee yet.
Yeah.
He faces Hayward now with a man aboard. And Jason drives one to deep right. Bird going back is going to get there at the edge of the track. Tyler back at first with 2 outs.
All of a sudden, everybody is watching the game. They see Jonathan Neese grab his side, and immediately everybody starts looking for their glove. Where's my glove? And taking their windbreaker off.
Freddie Freeman's hit the ball hard twice.
Well, we thought it might have been oblique the way he was kind of standing there with his hand on his hip. There was a story Gretchen found, and you see him reach here, where he was suffering from some shoulder tendonitis. And maybe it's something arm related, and not waist.
Yeah, they skipped him in rotation between May 27th and June 9th because of that shoulder problem.
I know sometimes guys will grab their side like that and try to get their shoulder in a position where they can kind of stretch it without being too obvious. So maybe that's what he was trying to do. I'm sure I'd rather have an oblique problem than a shoulder problem.
One ball, 2 strikes. .30 in Atlanta. 3-2 Braves lead it. Mike Minor, the starting pitcher tonight. He's surrendered 2 solo homers to David Wright. Braves got a first inning run on an RBI hit from Justin Upton. Back-to-back RBI hits from Chris Johnson and Gerald Laird in the 3rd inning. And now Freeman, a 2-2 count. A ground ball headed toward Murphy. It's off the pocket of his glove, and all hands are safe. That's a hit.
This happened the other night, guys. Remember, Murphy was looking in, got the sign on an off-speed pitch, skipped a little to his left and took a hit away, I think, from Freddie. Well, he did the same thing here. See him move a step or two to his left, but this time he got burned. And it turned into an infield hit of sorts.
It's now Upton. 2 for 2 tonight. Braves have done a lot of 2-out hitting the last couple of games. Let's see if Justin can keep the line moving and extend the lead.
Signs with a runner at second.
Strike one. I love your description, Joe. Hitter versus slugger for Justin Upton.
You like him to be a slugger. It's when he's behind in the count and still with runner in scoring position. And it's not just Justin. It goes to any of those guys in the middle of the order. He's ahead in the count. Get after it.
Two balls and a strike. Hot shot into left. Young coming on. Diving play, and he makes it. Young takes away a hit for Justin Upton, and the Braves strand a pair in the bottom of the fourth inning. David Artsman leads off the Mets' fifth. 3-2 Braves lead it.
Part due to our Zaxby's indescribably good plays, which features Mike Minor in the top of the fourth inning with the bases loaded and one run in. Got a fly ball to right field, too shallow from Marlon Byrd to test the arm of Jason Hayward. And then the next hitter got the patented 1-2-3 double play to get the Braves out and preserve the 3-2 lead.
So he'll face the Mets' Andrew Brown. Hardsma's taken down after a short stint of 2/3 of an inning. Again, it was his 3rd straight appearance. And now Brown unloads deep to left. Upton going back on the warning track at the wall. Can't get it. Andrew Brown on the first pitch hits his 2nd home run, and the Mets have tied the game.
Well, welcome back to the big leagues, Mr. Brown. Didn't waste any time making his presence felt. Wearing a familiar number.
Very similar stroke, too.
Second pinch hit homer for the Mets this year. Any guesses as to Viola?
I'm going to go with Giordani.
Got it. So 3 solo homers for the Mets. They have but 5 hits. And new life, 3-3 game for Young. Young has bounced to the mound. He's also walked. Troy Hawkins appears to be the next Mets pitcher.
A little cutter.
Yeah, it looked like that backdoor cutter again. It just catching too much of the plate. You know, not a bad pitch for the guy. Generally speaking, guys coming off the bench are looking for that first fastball, trying to put the ball in play, and that's not a bad pitch selection, just bad execution.
Hot shot off the bat of Murphy. Chris Johnson's got it. And that's the 2nd out. Young struck out. Murphy grounds out after the Brown homer, and now David Wright stands in, and he's hit 2 solo homers tonight. David's tuning up for what might be his appearance in the home run hitting contest.
Yeah.
He's tonight. He's up to 11 long balls for the year. 32 career homers against the Braves.
I'm sure at some point along the way somebody in a game hit more than 1 homer off of you.
Yes.
I mean, it'd be hard for you to recall that, but I'm just thinking along with Mike here. Okay, he hit that out. Then he hit my slider out. Let's see where I go now.
Well, and I think that's what you try to figure out is, did he beat me at my game, or am I not executing what I'm trying to do? And to me, that was always the difference. I think you got to be honest with yourself. Is it, okay, here's what I'm trying to do, and I executed it exactly what I wanted to, and he beat me, now I got to do something else? Or was it, man, I just threw him a hanger, what's he supposed to do with it?
Yeah.
You know, make a better pitch next time. So that's what he's got to try and figure out.
Looked like Gerald put down maybe a breaking ball and then went to a slider in, and they got crossed up with each other.
And now they'll talk it over, wisely so. 20th career multi-homer game for Wright, his 5th against the Braves.
That was just
belt high fastball there.
Old country hardball right there.
And that was a mistake. Breaking ball coming into him that's in the zone.
And another hit for right. This one out of reach of Andrelton Simmons.
Coming into the game, David Wright was 2 for 17 off Mike Minor with 7 strikeouts. He's gotten some better pitches to hit tonight.
Well, he's having a great 2-week run. Wright came into tonight's game hitting .382 since June the 5th. So Marlon Byrd bats with a man aboard and 2 outs. 3-3 game. New life for the Mets. And a strike to Marlon Byrd. Popped up. Long run Freeman. But he will not have a play. 0-2.
I've been saying this for quite a while. Maybe someday it'll get to the rules committee. I don't know. But first base coaches that stand inside fair territory to talk to a base runner should not be allowed. Tom Goodwin does that a lot. And this is a base runner who's a veteran and who's 12 out of 13 in stolen bases. I don't think you need to whisper in his ear.
Yeah, if you got to tell him what sign was on, then too bad. He should know the signs.
Runner goes, and the pitch fouled back. And Wright will head back to first. I like that idea, and I've got a great idea for the penalty. You make the first base coach run.
I don't know when that started or why it was necessary. At least he's in foul territory at the moment.
Block for Gerald. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Washington's winning tonight. They're hosting the Colorado Rockies. You know who's starting for Colorado tonight? Roy Oswalt. Wow. He's making his Colorado debut tonight.
Well, that wasn't a good start.
No, he's down 4-0. Jordan Zimmerman is scheduled to start for the Nationals this evening. He too is an all-star candidate. Two and two. This is one of those games where Mike seemingly has pretty good stuff, but it has not been an easy night so far.
Yeah, ball seems to be coming out good. He's throwing a lot of strikes, but seems like he's had trouble either making the pitch early in the count to get ahead, or if he is ahead, making that pitch to get the guy out.
That was a good take by Marlon Byrd. Not a bad changeup from Mike. Couldn't get him to chase it.
Yeah, that's almost one of those takes that he took it so well, you wonder if you're tipping something. They knew it was coming.
Runner goes, and Byrd fouls it away again. Delta Airlines, a proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. Final game between Atlanta and the Mets for a while. New York has tied it on a Brown solo homer on the first pitch of this 5th inning. Wright runs, and Byrd swings and misses. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. B.J. Upton, Chris Johnson, and Gerald Laird coming up. In-game box score. The good news for the Braves is 3 runs on 10 hits. The bad news for the Braves so far, fellas, they've left 7 men on base already tonight.
Gerald Laird's had a good night getting a start behind the plate. Tyler Pasternaking his first start after his recall. 2 hits for him also.
So the new pitcher is indeed LaTroy Hawkins. This is his 30th outing for Terry Collins and the Mets this year.
He's been in 1 game in the series. Game 1 of the doubleheader. He went 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit and a strikeout.
And I think that was his 900th career appearance.
Still throws hard, 92, 93. Mostly sliders for a breaking pitch.
Pretty heady company for LaTroy Hawkins.
That's Arthur Rhodes.
Out to second. Murphy gets B.J. Upton.
He did that to BJ, what we talked about the last time we saw him, which is sometimes he works out of the stretch, but sometimes he comes set, and sometimes to throw the hitter's timing off, he does not when there's nobody on base. So watch this. It's like a quick pitch.
I don't think you should be able to do that.
He might just say, hey, it's just my windup.
Let's see what Chris Johnson can do. He has an RBI hit. Takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, that's his windup with nobody on base. He needs to do it every pitch, right? Otherwise.
And this time he said, no, I changed my mind.
To short. Quintanilla. Gloves. Grabs. That's the second out.
Fans, steal the game tonight only. Grab the Braves, steal the game tonight only. Buy a season ticket package starting at $211 and get 2 Chipper Jones bobbleheads and a commemorative Chipper patch. This is also the last chance to secure tickets for Chipper Jones night, June the 28th. So call right now, 404-577-9100. As we said, this is your last chance.
Until we let you know again it's your last chance, but it's your last chance maybe in this 5th inning. So Upton grounded to second, Johnson grounded to short, and here's Gerald Laird, a 2-hit night, including an RBI.
Gerald's average back up to 283 with his 2 hits.
A lot of things to like about Gerald Laird's game. The work he's done with the Braves' young pitchers, most notably Julio Teheran. We've talked about, at least tonight, his work as a hitter. He's a good hitter. But as a veteran player who signed a multi-year contract to come to Atlanta and play, when playing time was scarce, as he ropes another hit to left. You did not hear Gerald Laird say a word about his lack of playing opportunity. You talk about a team guy. Gerald Laird was exactly that, I think.
Well, I think he was too, but let's face it, when he came here and he knew that Brian McCann wasn't going to be ready and suspected he wasn't going to be ready at the beginning of the year, he figured he was going to do a lot of the catching. But when Evan Gattis was doing what he was doing, I mean, Gerald Laird is not blind. He sees it. He knows a guy's got to play some. To complain about it at that point would be kind of silly. And he's not that.
And if the old adage is you play your hot hand, you can't do any better than 3 for 3. So he's making his case where you want him to, between the white lines.
Mm-hmm. And you talk to anybody on that Tigers team for what he did for them last year after Avila got hurt, And of course, they'd already lost Victor Martinez in spring training. He was a savior back behind the plate.
Blowing outside for Edwilton. He is 0 for 2. High fly ball hammered left center field. Lagares on the run. Great speed to get to the track. And he hauls that in. Simmons gave it a ride and nearly split the gap, but no such luck. No runs, a hit, a man left. We go to the 6th. Good ball game. 3-3 your score. Our homestand tonight with the New York Mets. Then it's the Bronson Barbecue road trip. First up, the Milwaukee Brewers tomorrow night at Miller Park. 3-game series. And then, Joe, I know you're really looking forward to getting back to Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what they've done to the ballpark. And I know it's not like they did it last week, but it's been that long since I've been there, and I'm anxious to see it. It's one of the best ballparks in America, and I think they've made it even better. And Kansas City, by the way, playing real well lately. You see 11-4, the 2.17 ERA over their last 15 games.
Yeah, it's kind of the American League version of Dodger Stadium. If you didn't know better, you'd think it was brand new. It was nice as they keep that place.
That's right.
So that's our Delta Airlines on deck road trip. Two other notes. One, Ryan Braun is hurt for Milwaukee, and number two, we'll see George Brett as the Kansas City hitting coach.
Yeah, they'd get his uniform out of mothballs.
So Lucas Duda starts the Mets 6th. He has struck out and walked. To first. Freeman plays it off his chest, and Minor a good job not to spectate. He got to the bag, and Duda's out number one.
He didn't spectate. He also didn't just keep running. He had to collect himself at first base and wait for the Freddie to regather.
Yeah, that's that one you work on in spring training a lot too. Like you said, good job of not anticipating that he was going to make the play on his own, but then you work on that play where a first baseman bobbles it, and you have to do exactly that. Gather yourself, get the bag, and become a first baseman.
John Buck is the Mets catcher. And After that play, another veteran move by Gerald Laird. What did he do? Walked about 2/3 of the way to the mound just to give Mike Minor a pep talk and just a few extra seconds to catch his breath after that sprint to the first base bag. That's foul over the Braves dugout. Buck still alive, 0-2.
Might be tough to see. I was just looking at it. B.J. Upton, because when I looked up, I lost that baseball, and I saw B.J. pointing straight up to the infielders, letting them know it's hard to see right now.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Buck is down swinging. That's 6 Minor strikeouts.
Time for Georgia Power Energy tip number 7. Reed Johnson, number 7. Georgia Power now goes with you wherever you go. You can easily access and manage your account, whether you're at home or on your mobile phone. If somebody's giving you a hard time at the coffee shop about being on your phone all the time, just tell them, hey, I'm turning up the heat.
Saving some money.
Here's Lagares with 2 outs, and Minor going right after these Mets hitters in this inning. Just like that, it's 0-2. Mets bullpen is busy. Josh Edgin is loosening. Atlanta's pen is silent. Mike Minor's spot is due first in the bottom of this 6th inning. And a line drive over second by Lagares. A 2-hit game for the Mets center fielder, and this one comes with 2 outs and Quintanilla the batter.
Lagares stole a career high 21 bases last year at Double-A Binghamton. Hit 283 for their Double-A club. But 98 career minor league stolen bases prior to this season in 280 games.
That was a big part of their offense when they had Jose Reyes. The ability for Reyes to manufacture runs playing in their big ballpark. Certainly that's been missed. Maybe Young, maybe Lagares will fill those shoes of former Met shortstop. Tough night at the plate for Quintanilla. He grounded to short with a runner at second and hit into an inning-ending 1-2-3 double play with the bases loaded in the 4th. There's Edgin. Mets will have to make another roster decision by this weekend because Zach Wheeler is apparently going to come up and make another start. And the Mets didn't just let him sit around the clubhouse here in Atlanta. They actually sent him back to the AAA club to get his work in.
Well, baseball gods might have answered that one tonight again.
Good point, Tom.
Yeah, if Nice is hurt. But Terry Collins wanted to impress upon Zach Wheeler, okay, just because you won your debut doesn't mean you're off and running for the rest of your career. Go back to AAA, do all the things that got you prepared for your first big league start, so you'll be ready for your second one too. A ball and 2 strikes. Runner goes, pickoff play, and the Braves are going to take care of Lagares. Minor picks him off. That's a good way to end the 6th. Let's see if Minor can lead off the bottom half successfully. 3-3 game. Tied 3-3, and in the shadow of the Henry Aaron statue at Turner Field, not surprisingly, we've seen the ball fly out tonight.
3 solo homers for the Mets, 2 by David Wright, and then a pinch hit homer by Andrew Brown, who was just recalled from Las Vegas. Braves got a single run in the first, 2 in the third.
Troy Hawkins back out for another inning for the Mets, perhaps. Minor starts things off at the plate. And a little chopper foul. It's 0-2. Sharply hit, and Murphy handled a tough hop. 1 out. And back to the top we go. It's Tyler Pasternicki.
One of the things that fortunately hasn't reared its ugly head in these series that can happen, especially in a 4-game series and especially in a 5-game series, is maybe some bad blood. Guy gets plunked accidentally, that works into something else and carries over into another game or games. Thankfully, none of that has occurred.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a big fan of 2-game series. I'm not a big fan of 4-game series. 3 seems to be just the perfect number. I'm sure there's a reason why there are sometimes 2 and 4-game sets with the opposing clubs. This was originally a 4-game series, made 5 by a rainout. But 5, too much.
Yeah, 5 for sure is too much. Yeah, I wasn't. 2 is kind of a pain in the neck because you don't even have time to settle in really and unpack your suitcase. 4 just seems like it's too many as well. So
as Tyler swings and misses, especially for the Braves, we had a really enjoyable trip to Toronto.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Sunday night game, play the next night, and then a 12 o'clock game the next day, and then came home and played them again. Toronto put in our ballpark the next night. I hope they fix that for next year. This is bad.
Tom said he didn't want any part of it, but if you want to, I'll join forces with you. We'll try to work on the schedule.
Yeah,
I'll help you.
That's
still
that's a thankless job. No matter what you do, people are complaining about it.
Even with my help, that's what
well.
we're saying now?
I'm sure it'd be better with your help, but still not a lot.
Wait a minute. Thank you, Senator.
Still a thankless task.
1 ball, 1 strike. The part of the schedule that's so very strange for the Braves this year. You know, it's not because of the full moon. We saw the Phillies the first 3 games of the year. We haven't seen them since.
I hate that.
Now we'll see him on the road right before the All-Star break. But how does that happen?
And then, like we talked about before, you'll see him so much the second half of the year, you're sick of seeing them.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And Hayward smacks one into center field with 2 outs. Jason, a 2-hit game. And Freddie Freeman is the hitter. Saturday baseball night in America returns as Adrian Beltre and the Rangers battle Carlos Beltran and the Cardinals. Baseball night in America starts Saturday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Let's see how carefully they pitch Freeman. 2 hits and a run tonight. The Mets have walked him 6 times in this series. Braves want to make teams pitch to Freddie Freeman. The men hitting behind him have to produce, and tonight Justin Upton has done that. He's on deck with 2 hits. High fly toward left. Young near the line, near the stands, and it's a row deep.
Freddie, with his 2 hits tonight, has climbed up to 322. That would move him ahead of Buster Posey and Joey Votto into 5th place in average in the National League. You mentioned John Segura of the Brewers having a good year, Chip. Carlos Gomez, their center fielder, is too. He's in the top 10 in hitting as well.
I wonder if he's finally figured out how to bunt a little bit or put the ball on the ground and use that speed.
Could be.
They catch a Milwaukee team that had a tough time with the Astros. Houston beat them 7-4 today. Brewers are now 29-42 on the year. One ball, 1 strike. Hayward started, took 3 steps, and then stopped. And with a swing and a miss, the count for Freeman goes to 2-2. Any hesitation now for Jason. It's a full count.
See if Freddie can find a gap. Big one out there in right center field.
Yeah, Lagarce continues to play pretty shallow, even for Freddie. But he's been covering it all from gap to gap in this series.
Yeah, he has. He's quick out there.
Jason runs, and Freeman swings and misses. That will retire the side. Another strikeout for LaTroy Hawkins, and we head to the 7th. Our game's still tied 3 apiece. Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day.
Hey, the Glavin family's
Glavin
here.
crew. Keenan in his first game.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it? All right.
Looks like he's more interested in the seats than he is the game, but that's all right.
Mason sitting there with his mom. I'm sure telling him how much he loves her and enjoys being at the ball game with her.
No question about it.
And can I get a hot dog and some cotton candy?
Again.
I think he's got the right idea.
Which is?
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And always talk to the pretty ones. He's got that figured out. Strike to Quintanilla. He was in the batter's box when Lagares was picked off, so Minor will have the 8, 9, and 1 spots for the Mets in the 7th. Good job of relief by LaTroy Hawkins, 2 scoreless innings. And that's will pinch hit for him. 0-2.
Brendan Lyon throwing in the Mets pen, and Jordan Walden in the Atlanta pen.
That's Josh Satin. He would pinch hit. We'll do it again. A ball and 2 strikes. Got a piece of Gerald Laird.
Right up, missed the shin guard right up into the inner thigh.
Word on Jonathan Neese being announced to the press. Left shoulder discomfort. After the tendonitis scare, that's more bad news for the Mets. Tenth pitch of the at bat for Quintanilla. Minor has thrown 101 in total so far tonight.
Looking back at the inning before Neese came out, he gave up the 4 hits and the 2 runs, but he'd started the 4th inning with a strikeout of the pitcher and had gone 2-2 when he couldn't go anymore.
Lined over third and down the left field line by Quintanilla. He'll have an extra base hit. And it's a leadoff double for the shortstop. So Satin will be announced.
Again, Quintanilla does something good for his ball club. Good at bat. Spoiled a good pitch.
So 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts for LaTroy Hawkins in relief. And Satin will at the very least try to move Quintanilla to third. Satin had a pinch hit single in the 8th inning yesterday. He started at first base in game 2 of the doubleheader and scored a couple of runs, singled and walked twice. And that's the extent of his playing time so far here in Atlanta.
Five pitches for Mike right now. 30 of those have come in 3 at bats to different hitters. Quintanilla, Young, and Bird.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a much different feeling game than what is probably the actuality of the game, because you look up at this, he's got 106 pitches, he's thrown 75 strikes, but the game just has that feel like he hasn't been sharp, he hasn't been, he hasn't been in the strike zone that much, and by my count I don't think he's had a 1-2-3 inning tonight. So that's kind of the nature of you getting a game like that solo home run here, solo home run there, 1 base runner an inning, and it just has that feel of it having been a difficult game.
Down the right field line and fair. Quintanilla will score as Satin has a pinch hit double on a 1-2 count. And boy, Terry Collins has pushed the right buttons in a pinch in the 5th and here in the 7th, and New York leads 4-3, and that's the end of the line for Mike Minor.
A couple of slicing doubles, one by the lefty, one by the right-hander. This one just inside the line.
Perfectly placed. And Mike Minor departs after 6+ innings. 4 runs across for the Mets on 9 hits and nobody out. Ball is brought to you in part by Georgia Power, by Ram Trucks, and by AT&T. A crowd in Atlanta hoping to see Jordan Walden put out the fire in the 7th inning for the Mets. He answers the AT&T call to the bullpen after back-to-back doubles chase Mike Minor tonight.
Jordan's second appearance in this series. He was in game 1 of the doubleheader on Tuesday and worked a good inning. Zeros across, had a strikeout.
Mike Minor sits and watches as the Mets have taken their second lead of the night. They led 1-0 in the first. The Braves tied it immediately. Minor led 3-1, 3-2. Now trail 4-3. And Young a little late at 98 miles an hour. Strike one.
There's that number again. Seen a lot of that this week.
With one strike, Young tried to bunt and rolled it foul. 0-2.
It's hard to bunt too. It's hard to soften it. Because any forward motion of the bat on something that hard, you're going to bunt it hard right back at somebody.
Swing and a miss by Young. Overmatched by Jordan Walden's fastballs. 1 on, 1 out. Here's Murphy. Daniels 0 for 3 with a double play tonight. Strike one.
Murphy has 3 hits in the series. 2 of those came in game 1 of the doubleheader. So Atlanta pitching's done a good job of keeping him in check. That's not easy to do.
To short. Simmons will flip to third. And an easy out. Where in the world was Satin going?
I don't know, but I'm glad he did.
Me too.
That would not have been an easy play at first.
And this ground ball was pulling Hamilton toward third base, and it looked like Satin even had to dodge it a little bit. Thank you very much. Vapor lock.
So David Wright is the hitter for the Mets. He's 3 for 3.
Especially with this guy coming up.
I was going to say that add insult to injury. I got this guy coming up with nobody in scoring position.
Unless you count Wright.
True. Strike. I didn't want to go there though.
I don't either. This is a fun matchup. Walden and that big fastball versus David Wright. And a close play at first.
Oh, a lot closer than it looked. I remember when David Wright first came to the big leagues with the Mets, and he was a first-round pick, so everybody had heard about him, highly touted. But he had a lot of bat waggle working when he first came up. And to his credit, that didn't last very long because he realized he couldn't afford to do that at this level against hard throwers, so he calmed that down.
And this ball served into the seats, foul to the right.
And became a better hitter as a result. As Greg Walker says all the time, once you identify what's wrong, then you got to fix it.
And some guys don't want to fix it. Other guys, it's hard to get them to trust it to fix it.
Just back safely again. Freeman thought they picked him off.
Got him leaning. Paul Schreiber's credit, he is right there, like he got back.
Oh, a flinch. Walden thought he got strike 3.
Chad Fairchild reared up like he was going to ring him up. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he should have.
David Wright doesn't need the help. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wow. Murphy runs. Strike 3 to Wright. Walden right back to the breaking ball and ends the 7th inning. We stretch at Turner Field. The Braves now down a run. It's a 4-3 game.
Eric Young made a terrific play earlier in the ballgame, subject of our Coors Light cold freeze can with 2 out, runners at first and second. He saved a run right here with this nice diving catch. Freeze it! And Airborne makes the play to end the inning and save a run, maybe 2. This is the freeze can brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light.
So here we go to the 7th, home half that is. Brandon Lyons on for the Mets.
Brandon Lyon has had some struggles against Atlanta in the past. Not the strikeout pitcher he used to be. Worked in game 2 of the doubleheader. Braves only got 1 run in that game, but it came off him. An inning, 2 hits, a run, and a walk. See if they can put a rally together against him tonight. High 80s, low 90s fastball. Works a cutter off of that. A slider and a curve.
So 1-run Mets lead, 4-3. Low. 2 hits for Justin Upton tonight. His first hit was an RBI single. He also singled and scored in the Braves' third. Atlanta's left 9 men on base so far tonight, 4 of those 9 in scoring position.
Which didn't seem like such a big deal when they had a 3-1 lead.
Right. Runs on 12 hits. The Braves have had at least 1 hit in every inning. Let's see if they can continue that with Justin Upton starting it off.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get that leadoff guy on. The last 2 hits have come with 2 out, nobody on. Cut.
He did have a good cut. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly foul into the seats. He'll do it again.
He had those 2 singles earlier. He got robbed, as we just showed you, on that diving catch by Young. And he's seen 5 pitches here so far from Brandon Lyon.
That one just off the plate. A walk wouldn't hurt either. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That's exactly where Brandon Lyon wanted to throw that pitch to. Just a little off the plate, trying to get him to go after it. He laid off. Good eye.
And it is a walk. Nice rally for Justin. Good start to the Atlanta 7th. From one Upton to another, B.J. Upton stands in. He's 0 for 3. And lifetime against Lions, still looking for his first hit. David Wright at third. Second for 1. And first, a double play. So it's the Braves' turn to be doubled up by the Mets. And quickly, 2 outs for Chris Johnson. Chris brought home Freddie Freeman in the third inning, his 21st RBI. Look out. Oh, boy, that almost picked off Laird in the on-deck circle. Chris is telling Gerald, move over. Fly ball shallow right. Murphy going out. Still going out and makes the catch over the shoulder. And that retires the side. Nothing doing for the Braves in the seventh. 4-3 Mets. (12-9), but 9 men left on base is coming back to haunt the Braves late in tonight's ball game. So we're hoping Atlanta can make another comeback win for that couple's anniversary tonight. It's been a specialty of the club. But you got to slow down the Mets in the 8th inning with their 4, 5, 6 men coming up. That means Marlon Byrd digs in first. Marlon's had a good month. He's had a good series. He has 7 hits in his last 15 at bats. Quickly ahead of Marlon Byrd, 0-2. Lined and caught. Check the webbing, Chris. Good play. 1 out.
Looking back to him a little bit. Quick reactions. Saved the double.
Saved the double for sure.
Outside corner. Duda's 0 for 2. Or as my grandfather might have said, Sakula dude. Spelled backwards, that's Duda. He is from Southern California, so of course he's Sakula dude.
Yes, he did. Oh. What are you looking at down there? K-E-double-L-O double good.
2 balls and a strike. Good cut. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braves will have the bottom of their order due in the 8th, so Freddie would like to see Walden get through this 8th without any difficulty, and they can pinch hit for him when it's the Braves' turn to bat. And Jordan takes care of Duda. That's his 3rd strikeout in an inning and 2/3. All right, here's your last chance to grab the Braves' steal of the game. Everybody repeat at home along with me. Buy your season ticket package starting at $211. Get 2 Chipper Jones bobbleheads and that commemorative Chipper patch. It's also your last chance to get tickets for Chipper Jones Night, June 28th. So call right now at 404-577-9100. John Buck 0 for 3. Fly ball to right. Pretty well hit. Hayward going back is going to have room though. Wind blowing from right to left may have kept that in the ballpark. 3 up, 3 down for Walden. Laird, Simmons, and then we'll see for Atlanta. Down a run, 4-3. before we tell you who's going to lead the comeback for the Braves, let's get to our AT&T Reverse Trivia question. This one's specially designed for our pal Tommy Glavine. Name the last Mets lefty to win 20 games in a season.
Don't put that kind of pressure on me.
You're sticking with Hampton?
Yeah, because I totally forgot and hadn't even been thinking about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm going Viola, Frank Viola.
That's a good call. I'm going to go. I'll go Kuzman.
Okay.
Good call.
We've had that question before.
Way to go, buddy.
20 and 12, 1990. And that fan's awfully happy tonight with Gerald Laird's 3-for-3 game.
I'm in the Gerald Laird fan club too, buddy. I want to join.
Lyon back to work, his second inning of relief. Quick strike. Gerald tried to bunt.
Why not? You're 3-for-3. Last thing David Wright thought of. He's got an impossible pitch to bunt.
Yeah. Well, now I go deep.
Something tells me he's going to get another slider. Set up away.
Try to throw it better than the last one, and you hang it.
Way high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not only are the Braves trying to come back and win this game, all of Braves country is waiting to see who our Delta Day contest winner is. And we have our victorious viewer. And there is the breaking ball, and Gerald Laird strikes out. 1 man down. Time now, ladies and gentlemen, to announce our 2013 Delta Day winner. Tom Glavine with the drum roll in the booth. Woohoo! And hearty congratulations go out to Matt Crum of Guntersville, Alabama. It's in the northeastern part of the state, right near Lake Guntersville, which is the biggest lake in Alabama. Great bass fishing there. So, Matt, congratulations. Enjoy your trip, courtesy of Delta Airlines. Strike 1 for Andrelton Simmons.
Way to go, Matt.
To third. David Wright can't handle that. Funny how this game works, Joe. All series long, Wright was backing up and having trouble making plays. He comes in on this one and has it clank off the leather.
This is not a whole lot unlike the play that Chris Johnson tried to make earlier, that you got to charge it. Your best opportunity, the best chance you have is to smother that hop. That thing came up like a rocket, though, and they ruled it an error. I think they need to readdress that. That was a terrible hop and ought to be a bad hop single.
Yeah, that's a base hit. That ball was hit hard, and like I say, he tried to play it the right way, but it came up so hard he didn't have a chance to get there.
He didn't have a chance to smother the hop. It came up so high.
That's one that might be reviewed at game's end.
I wrote down single, keeping it.
I did too.
But no matter how you score it, the tying run's on potentially for the Braves, and Jordan Schaefer comes up in a pinch. Good speed at first, good speed in the box. Let's see how the Braves play it with Schaefer. And takes a strike. Good work for Walden in relief. 3 strikeouts in his 2 innings of scoreless pitching.
Where's he been good?
Jordan's been good in a pinch. 6 for 18 off the bench as a Braves hitter.
Jordan's been doing a good job of hitting the ball where it's pitched. He's been going to left center some, but this is especially until he gets 2 strikes. And at bat where you'd like to see him try at least to look for something he could pull through the hole on the right side. Kind of ambush something.
Drive one through that hole, maybe get first and third, or maybe even find a gap or the line and get a double.
And Lyon trying to make sure he doesn't do that. Ran that ball away from him. Good pitch. And with good reason he wants to keep it away from him.
Good eye. Popped up. Antonia drifts out. Young comes in. Gets there. Schaefer flies out for the second out of the Atlanta 8th. So here's Tyler Pasternaky. He'll try to keep the inning alive with a 2-for-4 night.
At the final line on Oswalt tonight. 5 innings for the Rockies. 5 innings, 9 hits, and 4 runs. He did not walk a batter and struck out 11.
Well, that's some good news for a Colorado club that could use it. Remember, they've lost Troy Tulowitzki for the next month or so. Broken bat. That's going to drop into right. Simmons around second on his way to third. Ball dropped by Bird. And Simmons thought about making a break for the plate. If the ball had been fumbled again, he might have taken a shot. Instead, it's a 3-hit game for Pasternaky, and the tying run's 90 feet away.
Brandon Lyons made some good pitches tonight. And this one wasn't a bad one, but absolutely splintered Tyler's bat right off the end. And with the drop, Simmons challenging Marlon Byrd with the drop made it easily.
So Brandon Lyon works an inning and 2/3 with a strikeout. And a little shaky Mets defense, although it should have been a hit, has helped the cause. 4-3, 2 on, 2 out for Hayward. brings on Josh Edgin. Jason Hayward has a 2-hit night. He's due next, and you see Edgin's work. It's been a rough start.
He did work in game 2 of the doubleheader here on Tuesday night. 2/3 of an inning. He issued a walk. He struck out a batter. One of the outs he recorded was the first batter he was brought in to face. That was Jason Hayward, and he got him to ground to first.
So top of the hour, bottom of the 8th. Braves have action against the Mets bullpen. Simmons at third, Pastornicky at first. Jason would love his first hit against Edgin, or it could at the very least tie the game at 4.
This guy's probably going to try to get Jason to go after a slider or maybe a cut fastball away, at least until he gets behind in the count. I think a good idea for Jason might be to think middle in. He's still got that big hole on the right side where the runner's being held, and he got some room to work. He might pull one through the hole. Lay off anything middle away.
And if Hayward can reach, then the tables tilt toward Freddie Freeman, who hits lefties well and has been as good as anybody in baseball with 2 outs and runners aboard.
And 2 for 4 in his career against Edgin.
2 balls, no strikes. He's missed with 3 in a row.
You'd like to turn him loose here 3-0 against the lefty, but a walk also puts the go-ahead run into scoring position. So you got to weigh that with your decision.
And you got your hottest hitter coming up behind you.
Exactly.
So. He's taking all the way. All bets are off now. 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, but still stay with that idea. Stay with that whatever swing thought you had or approach you have. Stay with it, because he laid off everything else away earlier in the count.
Didn't get the 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
But he was trying to pull it.
So Pastornicky will be running from first. Simmons leads at third. A full count for Hayward. Ground ball pulled to first. Race to the bag, won by Duda. And that ends the Atlanta 8th. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 more left. 9, make that 11 left on base for the Braves through 8. Mets maintain a 4-3 lead as we head to the 9th inning. away from winning this series over the Braves.
I see the game summary there. Mike Minor, 6 innings, struggled a little bit with the home run ball. David Wright, 3 for 4 with 2 solo homers. Satin with a pinch hit RBI double, and Tyler Pasnicki having a good night. Opportunity to start. 3 for 5 with a run scored, and here's how we got there. David Wright early on, solo home run, top of the first inning, gave the Mets a 1-0 lead. The 4th inning, there he is again, another solo home run, cut the lead to 3-2 at that time. 5th inning, pinch hit home run, knotted the score at 3, and then in the 7th inning, back-to-back doubles gave the Mets their lead, and that's where we stand, 4-3 in the top of the 9th.
Luis Avilan takes over for the Braves. He's the 3rd pitcher to work tonight. Minor started, gave up 4 in his 6 innings. Only 2 scoreless innings. Now Avilan facing Lagares, Quintanilla, and then the pitcher spot.
Luis worked last night, his only other appearance in the series. A perfect inning.
A 2-hit night for the Mets center fielder. Nice crowd tonight of 33,824, hoping for another comeback for the Braves. They're down to their last inning. And a fly ball toward left. Upton cuts over and gets there. That's out number 1.
Yeah, and looking ahead to the 9th, B.J. Upton's going to get another at bat, and he's the bobblehead guy, remember.
And here's an amazing stat tonight. This much maligned Mets bullpen in this series. 13 innings, 1 run.
They have not been pitching that well.
And you figure Bobby Parnell will come on for the bottom of the 9th.
He is loosening up.
1 up, 1 down for Avilan. Quintanilla, the batter. He's doubled and scored. His run is the 4th run of the night for New York. Off his knuckles. Chris Johnson bobbles and throws late to first. It skips off Freeman's glove and into the seats. I don't know if Chris gave up on that play, but he flipped it to first and no chance for Freeman to scoop it up.
He didn't seem to be in any hurry. Maybe he just thought he had a lot more time than he had. It'll be 2 errors charged to him. For booting one and the bad throw.
Yeah, I think he thought he had time to gather himself and did, and then when he looked up realized, oh my goodness, I don't have as much time as I thought I did, and tried to make a flat-footed throw and didn't get much on it.
So it is a double error. Here's Neuenhuis. All 3 errors tonight for the Braves, charged to Chris Johnson.
Braves made 7 errors in this series.
Two to Neuenhuis. He had an RBI hit last night. Also started game 1 for the Mets. Went 0 for 3 in that one. Here you go. Yep, he's done. 3 pitches, retires Neuenhuis. Again, after our game, we'll have Braves Live presented by AT&T. Hopefully a comeback win to talk about with you as we wrap things up with the Mets. To short. Simmons the pick and the throw to first. Nice job by Avalon to pitch around the double error at third base. Last call for Atlanta in the ninth. Freeman, Upton, and hopefully more. 4-3 Mets leading. You know he is. He'll step in against Bobby Parnell in the ninth inning. Braves are down only 1 run, and coming back to win has been a specialty so far for this club.
Well, they've done it once in this series. We've talked about it a lot, about how they've been good at that and how they've been good when they score first. So tonight, they need a comeback win.
Well, they brought in their flamethrower, the Parnell Gas Company, 95 to 98 with his fastball. And unlike a lot of hard throwers, his breaking ball is a curveball, not a slider. He has earned a save already in this series. And that was in game 1 of the doubleheader. He worked an inning and a third that night. Gave up a hit, but no runs or walks, and struck out 2.
So Parnell comes on to pitch. Neuenhuis stays in the game to play left field. And Freeman goes to work first. He is 0 for 4 against Parnell. 4 strikeouts.
Outfield very deep. Cut off an extra base hit. So a lot of room in front of the outfielders.
Ball 1 from Parnell. He had a good rip. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Got a good fastball to hit. Just missed it.
That's poked foul to the left. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Freddie may have widened his zone a little bit too much there. That may have been ball 3.
We talked earlier tonight about the baseball gods and how they work. All series long after Freeman hit the game-winning homer in Game 1, the Mets have tried to pitch around Freeman as much as possible. They can't afford to do that here, for he represents the tying run. But they still have to be very careful because he's got power. Ground ball. Murphy gives ground, hops, throws, and got him. What a play.
Tell you what, Daniel Murphy hadn't had a very good offensive series, but he has done a great job defensively.
Yeah, there's a couple of nice plays he's made. I think at least the second one of those where he's gone to his right in the outfield grass and made a throw going back the other way. That's a nice play, especially leading off the inning in this situation. That's a big defensive play.
Huge. Made that real good over-the-shoulder running catch out in the shallow right field earlier tonight, too.
Justin Upton, the batter. Justin's 2 for 7 against Parnell. And has 2 hits, a run, and an RBI tonight. To third, right. Fires to first. And the Braves are down to their last out. And Joe, you called it. It's B.J. Upton bobblehead night.
Yeah, he's due tonight, too. A couple of strikeouts. He's hit into a double play. Man, look at what he's done to Parnell.
That gives you hope. Liner foul, strike 1.
Doing a good job spotting his fastball this inning. Made some good pitches away from Freddie Freeman. Got away with one fastball that he fouled back, but otherwise he made good pitches with it. The knock, if there's been one on Bobby Parnell through the last several years, the fact that he throws hard, but his fastball is generally straight.
Pop fly, slicing into the stands.
And you say, well, that was a good pitch to hit, but it was 97. I mean, he's throwing so hard, and yeah, it was, you know, a little above the knees, had the middle of the plate, but if your timing is not just right, you're going to be late.
87 on the outside corner at the knees is tough to hit, let alone 97.
Yeah.
The 2-2 pitch is outside.
Need a base runner anyway, anyhow. He can get on. He's one of the faster base runners on the team.
We'll do it again. Big league at bat by B.J. Upton here in the ninth.
No kidding. 99 back to back. And that one was a little bit in, and he still got a piece of it.
Fought off just enough of it to live for one more. You can get him to make a mistake.
Hot shot and caught at short. Quintanilla snags it, and the New York Mets beat the Braves by a 4-3 final score. They win the series 3-2 behind David Wright's 2-homer night. And for the Braves, it's their first home series loss since last August and early September against the Philadelphia Phillies. 4-3 to final. Back to Turner Field in a moment.